So now that we went through the introduction of this tool, Tiger, we are gonna dig a little bit deeper in each section of this tool and see how they work and what they can do. In this initial video, we are gonna focus on this section here, the main I/O, and see how it works and what's all it has to offer for us. So the first thing I'm going to do is, as I already launched Tiger, I'm going to create a new project. You can keep the default, is fine. So as we saw in the introduction, this will be our first step to do in creating our PLC program. So we can right click on this main I/O, we can add, we can give it a number and a name. So I can say, for example, this is Rock 1, for instance. Make this bigger so we can see. Okay, so in here we are presented with, and with the table here, I can start creating my tag manually if I'd like. So I can do something like, for example, this is PIT 1000, and let's say this was in the local rack, so I'll just put 0 in there, and then I can say, for example, this is slot 1, for instance, and then the channel is 0. As for the type, we can specify, since this is a pressure transmitter, so it's going to be an analog, so it's be just an analog input. And then, of course, we can give it a description, so we can say, let's say this pressure transmitter is on some kind of a tank or process or something like that. Let's say pressure transmitter for tank, say 1000. And then in the alarm column here, we are going to say false. Okay, and then in the same way, we can create more tags. We can say AIT 0, 1, channel 1, analog. And for example, this will be the level transmitter for tank 1000. We can also do the discrete input, for instance. So let's say we have a level switch high, for instance, VRAC 0, maybe 2, channel 0, and this time is going to be discrete input. And we can say level switch high, for instance. And we can also have a discrete output. We can say SDV 1000. Let's say this thing has a valve. We can say slot 3, channel 0, and it's going to be a discrete output. And we can say this is the tank 1000 valve, for instance. And then this is an analog, so we're going to say false for the alarming. And we'll talk about this in the next sections. And then for the level switch high, most likely it's going to have an alarm. So we want to say this is true. And then for the valve, it's just an output, so it's going to be false. So that's basically the manual way to create your tags or your labels with their associated addresses and prescriptions, and then the setup for the alarm column. But obviously, if you have lots of tags, and why not? One easier way is to put all that stuff in Excel, for example, and then you can import your list quite easily by hitting import. And then I can, for example, grab this one for logics. Now, when we do this, because we're going to do an import, we are going to overwrite this. So if I do that, it's gonna kill all of these, or basically clear all of these, and then whatever you have in the file is going to be here. Now, if I don't want that, I can say cancel. And if I want to, let's say, merge with this, then I can say merge, and we can. I'm just going to grab this compact logics instead. And now we can see we merged the ones that we have created already here. And then here's our new tags that we have. Now, one thing you're going to notice here, we have these addresses flagged in red. So the reason for that is when you have a duplication in your address, the main IO or the list will detect that for you automatically, and then it will be flagged in red, telling you that you have a duplication, and then you can correct that, because as we know, like, we can't have duplicates addresses for two different tags. It's will be not a good thing for your program, and these are very hard to detect in especially in large systems. So if I go here and say, well, this is, I'm going to assign it to, let's say, 10. Looks like it's still used. So we have here 0 to 15. So if I go and put this to 16, so you can see now it's happy and it's no problem there. Same one if I say 17, the same thing. So now this is fixed as well. So the other thing that the main IO will provide you a table, beside detecting duplication on the PLC addresses, it also detects duplication on the tags themselves. So for example, if I call this one, for instance, PIT 1000, it's going to flag it in yellow to tell you that, okay, you've got duplications in here. And then in the same way, you can, go there and say, okay, this is not 1000, it's 1001, for instance, and that will fix that problem. So it's kind of like a smart grid that have those detection mechanisms built in. The same with the description. So if you put the same description in two different tags like this, for instance, they will be also flagged in yellow. So those kind of a couple of features in there. We also have the search. So if we're searching for a tag or something, so let's say I'm interested in just the PITs, you just type PIT and it's going to give you all the PITs. If you want to be more granular, and I want just 1000, then I can do 1000, and you're just going to filter that for you. So that's the filtering capability, and of course we also have the exports. So that's another way to save your work that you have done, beside obviously saving the entire project into a file. The other thing we also have here is we are not limited to create only one grid. So let's say we have a large application and we have multiple racks and we want to organize our tags by racks or by maybe the function, analogs, discrete, and so forth. You can certainly do that. So you just simply, right click and then add. And then I can call this one, for example, rack 2, and so forth. I can go and say rack 3 or whatever the naming you want to do and the organization you want to do. So now I can go here and I can grab another list. For example, maybe just this one for discrete. This is just a small one. So let's grab a large one. So this one here, control logics, and there we go. And here's our list, first one, and this is the the third one, and then this is the first one that we created. So you can certainly do that. And of course, you can also, rename or delete. So let's say, rack one, it's not rack one anymore. It's maybe rack 100 or whatever the case is. You can just do like this and then rename it. Then it will be renamed rack 100. And here it is with the new name. Of course, you can also delete if you feel that you don't need it. So I can say, I don't need rack 2, for instance. Just delete. Are you sure you want to do that? Because that's a permanent action. You cannot recover from that. You don't have a backup. And say yes, delete, and it's gone. So that's pretty much about the main I/O. And as we will progress for the other sections, we are going to see how this main I/O play a role in these other sections. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.